So I'm on the floor in the kitchen. Why? Because this is a useless, non-functional mess, just like yours. So I'm going to turn this into this in a very short amount of time. How short? I don't know, but you do because it's in the video title. And to prove it only took me that long, I'm going to use this, a stopwatch. I'm going to do my best to keep it on screen at all times, just so you don't think there's any shenanigans. But before we can start the timer and take our measurements, I need to clean this out. I was just going to clean this out off camera, but I think pulling some of these things out and showing you just points to the absurdity of how bad this is back here. Hamburger basket, knives, skewers, plugs, but here's where it gets really funny. Girl Scout cookies. I had no idea these were back there. If I did, I would have eaten them. Use or freeze by September 2021. Unreal. But those aren't alone. Another September 2021. And another. These things were just buried back there completely. Oh, and s'mores! These are the best! Yep, September 2021. More hamburger baskets, some bats, US napkins, egg holders. Ooh, bunny napkins. It's actually almost Easter. This is perfect. My wife is gonna love this. There's no way she knew this stuff was in here either. Batteries. I would really recommend getting one of these. In fact, I'm going to put a link in the description. If you buy one, that would help me out. I don't know. Coffee thing? We don't drink coffee. More silverware. All right, so we've got it cleaned out. So for these drawers, I'm going to do two different methods of installation. It makes it a little bit harder for me, but I think it might be helpful for viewers that have different circumstances. But I have a good reason for needing two different methods. These hinges are in a bad spot. They are right where I would want my drawer slides to be going. So if I make the drawer between them, the drawer is a lot less wide. But what I'm going to do instead is screw some boards to the sides, and that way the drawer will slide out above these door hinges. And that's going to give me some space underneath for things like cookie sheets, placemats, various other things that are actually kind of a pain to store. So this actually works out perfect for me. So before I start on the drawers, I first need to figure out how wide they're going to be. And to do that, I need to figure out where my support pieces for the drawer slides are actually going to go. The top shelf is really simple. I just need to measure the depth, and then when I go and screw my board to the shelf, I'll put it where I want it, using spacers to keep the two boards evenly spaced. I just need to make sure that I place the boards such that the drawer slides clear the face frame right here. And it's the same thing on the bottom shelf. I just need to make sure that the drawer slides will clear the face frame. So a few caveats before I get started with the timer. Because I'm filming, it's going to take a little longer than it otherwise would. And one more thing, these are the drawer slides that I bought. I measured what drawer slide I would need beforehand. I didn't think it was fair for me to have to put that as far as how long this project took. These are full extension side mount drawer slides. I will put a link in the description to these if you want to check them out. Also, I'm using 3/4 inch plywood on this project for the bottoms and the sides. Again, these are pretty wide drawers, so I just want them to be strong. Well, I think I'm ready to start the timer and get this project started. So I need a 22-inch board for my depth. The height is just going to be about 2 inches. And for the bottom, I need 1 1/8 at least to clear the face frame. And on the left, I need 1 1/4 inch to clear the face frame. So on my right side, I need it to be 1 1/8 to clear the face frame. And if you're not aware, plywood is rarely ever exactly what it says. So this one's supposed to be 3/4, but it's actually 11/16. Usually not a big deal, but in this case, it does matter. And this one is supposed to be 1/2 inch, but it's actually 7/8. For the right side, which needs to be 1 1/8, both of these together is just over 1 1/8, so that'll work perfect. The left side needs to be 1 1/4. This one is 11/16, so two of them is 22/16, which is 1 3/8. Ideally, I would like 1/8 of an inch less, but I'm not going to worry about finding something else just to get another 1/8 of an inch back. This will work fine. Just over 21 minutes so far. I'm going to do the top shelf first. So the first thing I need to do is line up these support pieces, and I have these spacers to keep them square. Drawer slide support pieces are going to be flush with the front face frame. I have them there so that I have a point of reference to keep everything square. Then I'm also having this spacer be square with the shelf. And that looks pretty good by the eye test, but just in case, I'm going to measure from the inside of the cabinet to the drawer support piece, just to make sure it's about the same all the way from front to back. All right, this bottom shelf couldn't really be much simpler. Just going to use these spacers, my two boards, flush against the front, and screw them to the side. These spacers will be used again for the drawer slides. And I'm going to use a countersink bit so that my screws are not in the way. I will just repeat that process with 2 more screws and then do the same thing on the other side. All right, right at about 33 minutes, and now it is time to measure this space for our drawer size. So we already know the depth is going to be 22 inches, 26 and 9/16, bottom 26 and 5/8. Okay, so I definitely screwed that up. I should have installed the bottom ones first, measured the width, and then just have done the top the exact same. My top is 26 and 9/16, my bottom is 26 and 5/8. Now I have to make 2 different size drawers. But the easier thing is probably to just move one of these boards over by 1/16 of an inch. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I can't really reuse these holes because the board will probably fall right back to where it was. So I'm going to drill some new pocket holes. Okay, so we're right at about 45 minutes so far. When I'm making these drawers, I don't want the front edge to have any plywood on it. I want it to look like this. So in order to do that, all of my pieces will surround the drawer bottom. So the width of my drawer bottom will be my width here minus 2 of the side pieces of the drawer. It'll make sense. All right, so the depth of my drawers are 22 inches. The width is 26 and 5/8. The first thing is the actual size of my bottom piece of the drawer. So it can't be 26 and 5/8. It has to account for the side pieces that will be right here. If you remember, my plywood is 11/16, so I need to subtract 11/16 times 2, which is 22/16, which is 1 3/8, 25 1/4. So 25 1/4. And my depth is 22, and I have to do the same thing. Subtract 1 3/8, 20 5/8. Now the sides are much more straightforward. The front and back will be the same as the total width of the drawer. So 26 5/8. Now the sides, the same as the bottom of the drawer. So 20 5/8. All right, I was getting ready to cut and then I forgot. I need to subtract space for the drawer slides. Each one is a 1/2 inch, so that means my drawer needs to be a full inch smaller. So I will just take off 1 inch from the widths. So 25 1/4 becomes 24 1/4. 26 5/8 becomes 25 5/8. All right, these drawer slides couldn't be easier to install. It's going to sit on the drawer like this, and the bottom here is going to sit on the spacer that I used earlier on the bottom shelf. So I'm just going to pull this out, and as I go, I'm going to put in some screws. Pretty straightforward. All right, to put my drawer in, I'm going to take these slides off. Make sure I keep track. This is the left side. And I'm going to use these spacers from before and just set that drawer slide right on top of it. All right, moment of truth. I'm going to get this done in just under 2 hours like I hoped. Oh, fudge. I was wondering, what was the problem? There we go. Under 2. All right, so I still have one more drawer to install, but come on, I got this done in under 2 hours. It would have been way faster if I wasn't filming, but hey, it's fun to film and I like showing people how I'm doing these projects. So I hope this helps you out too. So I'm going to get this last drawer installed, and while I'm doing that, hey, why not go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel. So on this one, because the support pieces are screwed to the bottom, or the shelf in my case, I'm going to use this spacer when I install the drawer slides. But for this part, it's going to be the same as last time. This really is just a few hour project, but it's really going to change the functionality and usefulness of whatever cabinet you do this to. I did this on our pantry when I redid my kitchen, which I'm going to make videos about that soon, and it's just night and day how useful the space is now. No more going on an archaeological expedition every time you go to the back of your cabinet. And one other thing, it would probably be a good idea to put some polyurethane on this drawer. It just makes it a little bit smoother, but also it's a lot easier to clean. Just a simple 3 to 4 coats of water-based polyurethane, one final sanding at the very end, and you've got a really nice smooth surface for your drawers. See you next time.